Hey, Fanboy Nation.
This is your pal Daffy Duck, and you're watching.
We're watching Fanboy.
A fanboy, etc.
Fanboy Nation.
Dot, I assume Tom.
What most people don't know is that if it wasn't for this man, Fanboy Nation would have never expanded into covering films, allowing us to join the Critics' Choice Association and ASIFA. So our loyalty will always be to Gregg Schwenk, co-founder of the Newport Beach Film Festival, which is now celebrating its silver anniversary. Gregg, it is always great to see you.
Great to see you, and happy to play a very small role in the expansion of Fanboy Nation and all that you're doing as far as really exposing your listeners and some of your readers to all the great things that festivals and other events do throughout Southern California. So thanks a lot.
Well, listen, it's thanks to you because you were the first one that took a chance on a fledgling publication that only covered comic books at the time that wanted to expand into film. And you said, sure, come on out, check out a few films. And here we are on my half 12 years later, on yours, a quarter of a century.
Yeah, Todd Cordero, who's the other co-founder with me, we were talking about the other day, and it doesn't seem like that long, but it's they're definitely, when you start to really think back and look at all the different challenges and really the milestones that we had, it's been a great run. Very, very happy with and proud of what we've achieved.
Well, I mean, there are some incredible events coming for the silver anniversary. The opening night film, Old Guy, with Christoph Waltz. We have, Lost and Found in Cleveland with June Squibb and Martin Sheen. You have so many great films this year, and you put all the effort into it. You'll go to Cannes, you'll go to Sundance, and you've made these relationships with these filmmakers that bring in these types of films to Newport Beach.
No, we're very proud of the relationships we've built up, with, as you pointed out, the filmmakers, and we do try to get out to other festivals. The team definitely scours the globe for the very best in both now film and television, and we're really proud of being able to connect our films with, I think, a very loving and supportive audience. And having gone out to other festivals, especially in Los Angeles, you kind of get that feeling that they're not always, it's that schadenfreude, I think, the idea that the downfall of my friends brings me joy. We have none of that here in Newport. I think the audiences here are really rooting for the films they go to see and are excited to hear the Q&As. And, I think this year is going to be a real watershed moment for the festival. In that we have this year 130 features and 260 shorts, which makes us, again, even larger than ever before. We're taking over 12 screens across Newport and the surrounding communities, and hosting 23 special events that we do. And we've already, there's some days where I think there's something like 7 or 8 events that are going on simultaneously with what we're doing and with other filmmakers and other companies are hosting. So it's quite amazing what's kind of come together, and really, again, very proud of the programming team and all the efforts of programmers and all the people who make that whole process possible.
Well, you have some incredible documentaries lined up so far. The Blind Sea. We have, The Best of the Best, Jazz from Detroit. The Cigarette Surfboard. There's so many more listed. Ice Maiden, Luther, Never Too Much. When you sit there and you get these submissions, there has to be at a point where, like, my God, we can't take any more because we don't have enough hours and manpower to do it. Yet somehow you guys sit there and manage to sit through all these films to select 300 plus shorts and features.
Well, one of the hallmarks we have at the Newport Beach Film Festival is that we will watch every submitted film multiple times. In that, years ago, I was talking with actors Eric Fursell, who was one of my original directors of programming, and we were debating a couple of films. And I said, this is why one person can't make a choice, because he and I had a very differing opinion on certain films. And I said, it's not that either one of us is wrong, it's just that it's subjective. And what we need to have is a more critical mass of understanding of what are the strengths of each film, and who is the audience for each film. And then we ask the very important question at the end of every process of looking at the film: would you pay $20 to see this movie? And sometimes, sadly, it's yes, but that we don't know where that audience is going to come from here in Southern California, or at least here in Orange County. And then other times, we're maybe going to take a small risk, but many times that risk is paid off for finding a hidden gem on the festival circuit, and really helping to launch a film as far as its initial run. So we really take the time to, I think, the very, very best on what's out there right now.
Take us back to year one, when 25 years ago, it's 1999, we're heading into Y2K. For the younger generation that don't understand, it was a time where we were all scared the entire world was going to crash because the computer systems were set to a 2-year digit, not a 4-year digit. So the rollover was going to shut down the entire planet. And here you are, you're like, you know what? Film festival 6 months out.
That's right. So I actually, my memory isn't what it used to be, but I can remember back because both Todd and I, our families were very involved in the first year. They continue to be. But I remember, Todd's dad was taking a lot of photos our first year, which we still use today. And my dad and my brother were picking up the programs in the back of my dad's van. And Todd's mom and my mom were answering the phones in the office. So it was very much, we're putting on a show type feeling. And but very, very excited. I remember I think also it was one of those experiences that, had we known the amount of work and the stress that it would have caused, we probably would not have embarked upon that particular path. But we got through our first year, and we were looking at it, and we said we want to continue doing this, and now here we are 25 years later. But I do remember we opened with the 50th anniversary of Sunset Boulevard. And A.C. Lyles, who was a legendary producer out at Paramount, who knew Billy Wilder very well, had brought in a letter from Mr. Wilder thanking the festival for programming his film for its opening night of its inaugural year. And A.C. was a legend in his own right. I mean, even at that time, would continue to be the longest-serving Paramount employee of history. I mean, again, he was in himself a living legend, so we're really happy to have him. And then I remember we did most of our films out at the old Orange County Museum of Art, which is now condos in Newport. And it was very small, very humble, but I think, again, very, very proud, and actually very ambitious, because even at that time, we were very dedicated to short film. Newport has always tried to at least level, if not elevate, the playing field for short filmmakers. And I want to say we had close to 100 short films at that time, which was rather ambitious for a festival just starting out. And I think the team has always looked at short film as, wow, you're taking an entire story and condensing it down to a much smaller format. The old Shaw quote, "I would have made it shorter, but I didn't have the time." And the idea of taking the extra time to really condense down has always been really impressive to me personally. So we've always tried to do as much as we can for short films, and that started the very first year, 25 years ago.
Wow. And here we are later having the world premiere of, excuse me, For the Living, with a Q&A with Mark Bennett and Tim Roper on the 20th of October.
No, we're very, very excited for all the films we have. And what's, as you pointed out, what's look, I look at our 25th year in 2024 optimistically as the first year that we're unencumbered. If you look at 21, 22, really we're still kind of impacted by COVID. I mean, and sadly, there are still people that, which we will hope to keep everyone safe. But we look at, if you look at The last year you had the first dual strikes in 60 years. And while that was primarily an entertainment industry issue, it definitely impacted the festival as far as the films that we could screen, and most certainly the talent we could recognize and engage with. And we were always very respectful of the unions, making sure that we abided by all the rules and regulations, both in the spirit and the letter of what we would try to do. But it made it a very muted affair. Still very proud of what we did last year, but still very tough. So this year it's gone bonkers. The amount of filmmakers coming out locally and internationally. We've got over 20 film representatives coming in from South Korea. We've got a delegation of 14 to 15 people flying out from Ireland. We've got people coming out from Australia, New Zealand. We've got the UK, Canada, Mexico, Argentina, Brazil, and again, all these places are producing amazing film, and we're very proud to have those filmmakers in attendance, both with their features and their short films. So very, very excited.
And there's also going to be the honor ceremony. Nic Cage is going to be honored on Sunday the 20th. I am 1 degree of separation from Nicolas Cage. I took a college course with his father at San Francisco State University. I've interviewed his eldest son. I've interviewed 3 of his cousins and a handful of directors that he's worked with, yet I have yet to meet Nic Cage.
Well, we'll hopefully rectify that this year.
I hope so. It's just this circling the drain
Yes.
of meeting Nic Cage. Yeah.
But I think, again, Todd and I talk about this all the time. We would never have imagined something like our honors event, whether it's here or the honors event we host in London 20, 25 years ago. It just we wouldn't have even been able to fathom the idea of these major individuals, both in front of and behind the camera, coming out to our festival to recognize and celebrating the art of cinema. We're really sometimes at a loss for words, but moreover, we're just incredibly humbled and so excited to be able to share all of these things with our audiences here in Newport. And again, we just announced yesterday that Amy Poehler will also be attending and being recognized on that Sunday event. So we've got a great lineup of honorees. We've got an incredible lineup of films. And again, I think the most important thing, especially for the films, is there are a lot of people out there that still think festivals are only for people in the industry. And one of the things we want to stress to everyone, we encourage you to please buy a ticket. Please come out to the film festival. Please see all those great shorts we're talking about. Please come out and see so many of the films that these individuals will be talking after during their Q&As, which are really special opportunities at any festival, but especially at Newport. We're really known for in-depth Q&As, longer Q&As, and opportunities for people to really get to understand the true collaborative art of filmmaking. And that's, again, open to everyone. It is a community event that celebrates the art of cinema. And I look at it this year, above all other years, really something for everyone. There are films which I love, and there are films that aren't my films. I'm not a big horror fan, but we've got some great horror films. We've got some great animation. We've got incredible culinary films. We've got action sports films second to none. We've got international films. Our spotlights. We have Waves, which is a beautiful film from the Czech Republic, and it's their submission for the Oscars. We have the Last Journey, which is the submission for Sweden for the Oscars. Again, we're the North American premiere for that film, and the directors and the lead actors are coming out to Newport from Stockholm. So there's just these great opportunities to see films you wouldn't be able to see anywhere else. Our parties are incredible, and people start thinking, well, that's only for the people in the industry. No. At Newport, everyone's a VIP. and we treat everyone well, and everyone I think has a really great time. I have not heard from someone going, "Oh, I hated my time at Newport." Again, film is subjective, so you may not like the movie that you see, and it just happens from time to time. But again, go out and see a couple of films, and I can almost guarantee you that some of the films you will see will be some of your most favorite films of the year.
You know, one of the ones that I'm looking forward to is the animation short block, and Tehran is Ours is part of that as well.
Yes.
And we have a large Persian population in Irvine, so that's going to be fantastic for people to come out and check that short out.
Well, and then for the Persian community, we have two incredible films. Universal Language, that's out of Canada. It's a like a dramedy, but it looks great. I haven't had a chance. And then Seed of the Sacred Fig is a phenomenal film, and we're really proud to have that film with us and playing at Newport. And the whole story behind the director and you know how he has to live in exile because when he returned they would be beating him. I think is a testament to dedication to storytelling and the craft of filmmaking. So we're again immensely proud to have that film and look forward to having members of the Persian community and members of the community at large come out and see great film from around the world.
You know, was there a particular movie that set the catalyst 25 years ago for you and Todd to say, you know what, we got to put on our own festival?
I think really it started for both of us, you know, understanding, we talk about this all the time. One, going out to other film festivals and seeing the less than respectful way films are treated, and that they weren't always projected well. They weren't always in the best locations or facilities. We said, look, we've got great theaters here in Newport. We can definitely do that. And then you go out to certain festivals, and you know the filmmakers didn't have a good time. I mean, they didn't engage with the programming team, and they weren't going out to see the cities that they were staying in. And so we said, look, we've got a beautiful location. Its proximity to Hollywood and the industry is great. It's close enough to where you can come down to Newport rather rapidly, but far enough away to where if you do come down, it feels like a vacation if you're going to stay a day or two. And then we said, this is the perfect combination as far as proximity and the venues for great screenings and beautiful events. That's the right combination for a world-class film festival. And I mean, we didn't, at that time, we maybe didn't use the terminology world-class, but we definitely felt a great backdrop for a film festival. And now, without being too braggadocious on this, you know, I think we've kind of become into that world-class feeling of, again, wonderful events, beautiful screenings, great films, and outstanding experiences, both for our filmmakers and for our audience.
Right. And we do have Big Newport. We have the lot, and now the return. Is it? I always mistake the pronunciation. Is it Lido or Lido?
Lido.
All right.
Yep.
So the Lido Theater is now back in action after a renovation, after being brought up to code, which I thought it should have been designated a historical landmark, since it is a theater, I believe, built in the 1940s. And now it's a part of the Newport Beach Film Festival again.
No, we're first and foremost, Fritz Duda and the Duda family who owns that whole area there, you know, they really had a choice. And that choice could have been, we would tear it down and, you know, reimagine what would go on over there. And Mr. Duda, you know, really loves the theater and loves our community, and that is reflected in the investment and the real gift he's given back to Newport Beach. And then with his great idea to bring on board McG and his team with his restaurant group, and the festival is proud to partner with them on the launch of the Lido Theater and the 25th anniversary of the Newport Beach Film Festival. It's the theater is beautiful. I mean, it was a beautiful theater before. It's stunningly beautiful now. Mr. Duda and his team did just such a wonderful and loving job of the restoration and the painstaking detail down to, you know, the certain colors on the wall. They brought in the top muralists in the United States to redo the blacklight murals in the theater. All of the woodwork that was redone, the heating, air conditioning, all the electrical that was redone. I mean, millions and millions of dollars. You know, thousands of hours spent to, again, lovingly rethink that theater and bring it. I think, again, it wasn't around 86 years ago, but it's one of those things where I think it's probably better than it was when it was launched, because they've just really been so thoughtful, down to the Art Deco sconces on each chair. Again, everything. It's a wonderful addition to the theater going experience here in Newport Beach and Orange County. And we're very, very, very proud to be partnering with them, not only in the festival, but on many other things to be announced shortly.
Well, there's that. I know the Newport Theater had been remodeled within the last decade, and that's a fantastic theater. Seal Beach is still working on their remodel for the Bay Theater. I know that's taking longer than expected. So it's great that the Lido is back and we're able to be a part of that. I love sitting in the balcony at the Lido.
Oh, yeah. The balcony, the chairs down below, and all the chairs have been redone, but the ones down below sorry about this, are also very, very, very comfortable. And again, there's really not a bad seat in the house. So we're excited to have people come out and take a look at the theater and experience the in the oldest theater, I think, in Orange County now.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot with this one, Greg. All right, let's say you meet a monastic that's never even seen a television set, all right, or a film, and you're like, if you are ever going to be interested in this medium, here is the one film you must take a look at. What's that picture?
It's a tough one. That's a great way to put it, though. I'm going to go for a sentimental favorite, and It's a Wonderful Life. And I think if you've never seen a film, I think the power of that particular film to connect with people, whatever, it must be close to 80 years from when it was made, is quite transformative. And I think it's got a great message, and it also it's just a wonderfully crafted storytelling experience. So if someone had never even understood what the medium was like, but understood the idea of a good story, I think that's a pretty darn good story.
And it's amazing that A Wonderful Life was a flop when it was first released, and then became a Christmas classic that we continue to watch on TBS and TNT and all these other networks over the years.
Multiple times per season.
Yeah. Oh, and I would say if it was my pick, it would probably be Charlie Chaplin's The Kid.
Yeah. Again, classics, things and classics that transcend time, and classics that really celebrate the medium. And again, if someone had just walked out of a cave, if we're going to allegory, and had never had any idea of what this was about, but understood what a good story was, these are good choices.
Well, Newport is doing something right. 25 years, the silver anniversary, as everything continues to go on. I do know usually during the opening night gala, Newport Beach Rib Company is one of the sponsors and has a booth there, and they're celebrating their 40th anniversary. Yep. So this is just a year of anniversaries for everyone.
And we hope to move. I don't know if we're working with them on opening, but I'm definitely trying to reach out and see if we can work with them on one of our nights. I saw that the other day as well, and it's crazy to think, 25 years for us and 40 years for them, and it's a great connection to the community. So we're excited to be sharing the spotlight with all about 75 different restaurants that we're working with for this year, and so many of our nonprofit partners. That's one of the other things that Newport's well known for is the partnership we have with other 501c3 nonprofits. As an arts nonprofit, we understand how hard getting out there and building your connections can be, and the opportunity to work with so many other nonprofits and other groups to pair them up with our films is a great way to celebrate the film, but also the efforts and undertaking of all these different groups and organizations. So super excited.
Well, Gregg, I'm excited as always. Thank you for having me back, and thank you for opening the door and covering cinema on my behalf. I do want to remind everybody, Newport Beach Film Festival, the silver anniversary, 25 years, runs from October 17th through October 24th. The website is newportbeachfilmfest.com. Thank you so much for your time today, and I will see you probably next week.
I look forward to it. You take care. I'll see you soon.